every domain, okay, whichever the subject, computer science field, electronics, mechanical, every field, what you can say is nothing but it is ultimate goal of studying is nothing but get a job. We have to prepare our students for that. For that, what is the requirement which we have to do in the preparatory step itself? Okay, we have to make them become employment ready. Okay, so that this industry-oriented use cases will be definitely contributing to that. So you have to see that how those industry projects has to be developed. Okay, not giving a mini project. It's a industry case. Okay, so you have to give them the real picture of how an industry cases are getting solved. So we will go through the presentation, and also followed by that we definitely have an activity. So developing industry-oriented case studies and using some real-life scenarios for framing your projects. Okay. So ultimately, what we do here is nothing but in the context of our academics, we say we attach some mini projects or capstone projects to all our subjects. Okay, but that is the way you have to do it. This industry-oriented projects. Okay, the reason is the actual learning happens here. So you have to give a real world situation. Okay, in that they will be able to understand how to bridge the learning and how to see that what are the workspace challenges in an actual context. Okay. So in that case, we will be discussing about some of the things like what is the case study, the need for case study based learning, and what is the traditional projects, and what is the difference between your industry cases, and what are various types of problems you can formulate. And about some examples of case studies also we can discuss. We have an as I told activity and how to improve our prompts so that we also can get a wonderful industry use cases. That also will be covered in today's session. So you all know what is a case study. What is a case study?
We have to take a situation, analyze the situation, and we have to analyze what solution we can do.
Yes.
Situation.
What solution? How to solve? Okay. Like there are two questions. Okay. When, why, and how. This is what we are going to achieve with the help of the case study. So why this happens? Okay. And how it can be solved. So that is the two things which is going to be concentrated on this case study. So it is like we are going to give a realistic solution. Okay. So like a simple example I can tell you. Zomato is now delivering foods. Okay. Why can't it also delivering like Instamart? Okay. A grocery. Will they be able to sustain in the market? So do a study and tell me. So what is the thing which you will be first thing concentrating is nothing but who are the already people who are doing in the market. Okay. So what is their achievements? Okay. Whether how the turnouts are happening for them. If we are also coming into that, whether we will be able to sustain. So those kind of real world problems. We have to analyze. Okay. Now, previously we have to think. Okay. So that also is not required in this AI digital era. So any complex problems. Okay. So if you want to see that you require, so maybe your institute requires an ERP or not. Please tell me, does your institute requires an ERP? Why do you say that your institute requires an ERP?
Smart work.
What was the displays?
Smart work. Okay. Everything is like is manual. Okay. You have to still we are in the there is the code same series, but still we are taking hard copy and submitting. Okay. So why to handle how to handle that? Okay. So in that case, if an ERP system is being provided, I can provide the digital document. It saves so many other paper productions, trees like that. That can be given as an input. And also you see that permanent place where all the data will be centralized located and any stakeholder who wishes to try to access the content will be available. Okay? So instead of a fixed location. Likewise, you have to identify some real world requirements. Okay? And that has to be converted as a case study. So in this case, for example, everybody accepted that your institute requires a YAG. Okay. So in that case, who will give the requirement? Who will be giving the requirement? Because there are different stakeholders, right? You have students who also will be accessing, will be having faculties, will be having administrative like HOD, deans, and principal, and the BOS, the board of directors. With that, we have a hierarchy. So who will be giving the requirements here? Do you need to, who will be your clientele system here? Student? Student only requires to view, but you are the person who is providing all the data.
Maybe from that's the person suddenly.
Industry, alumni,
The one who is asking,
Parents.
college management.
okay?
Answer
College
that.
management. ERP ஒரு டிசைன் பண்ணனும்னா நம்ம யாரோட இன்புட்ஸ் வச்சு நம்ம டிசைன் பண்ணா கரெக்ட்டா இருக்கும். Requirements of the institution. So definitely you are believing who is the client now. So your client is your administrative department only. Okay. But certain inputs, okay, can also be given from the user perspective. Okay. So that how those things are formulated. Okay. So any real world scenario you have to approach the client. Okay. So for example, this is for your institute. Definitely you can talk with your hierarchy, you can get it. Suppose if you are giving asking your students to bring real world scenarios, what they will do? So think about some real world context and bring it means how you have to give some instruction to them. Okay. So what type of instructions you might be giving? So everyone teaches a subject. Okay. Let's take everyone teaches some conceptual subjects. Okay. You want to do a case study. Maybe in teams or individuals, their perspective differs. Okay. So we'll assume there is a team project itself. So what you will be giving as an instruction to the students?
Read some research articles to identify the gap that is there, which they have to focus on finding a solution.
Okay. Any other inputs?
Give the current insights of the industrial requirement.
Okay.
To state a product.
Okay.
The recent research which is going on.
Okay.
Newspapers.
Alumni.
Newspapers. Still, I'm not getting the answer which I am querying.
Alumni are being
Look
explored
at the
themselves.
community
So
also.
now only I told, if you want an ERP, whom you will be approaching? Admin or your management people to see that what is the requirement. So when you are going to give ask your students to give you the problem statement, always see that they are talking with the client. Okay? Ask them to first identify a client. Okay? So real world scenarios or the gaps or what is available in the existing system is in papers. Okay? For example, if you want to build a online store application or an online grocery store, definitely, for example, you have to go and approach the store manager. Okay? Then only he will give the real scenario of what he is doing, what is requirements. So that is how you have to ask your students to come with use cases. First thing is nothing but find the actual client. Okay? It may be a small petty shop also, no problem. Okay? What type of automation he will require? Okay? Ask them to meet a client. Okay? Then only you will get the real ground picture. Okay? So that is the way you have to start. Okay? Then only you can, there is some procedures in your project cycle or your software development cycle, like how you have to do that. Okay. See, I am not talking only about the software. Even this work, like a strategy. Okay, as I told you, Zomato, can it go for grocery? Okay. So you will have to understand the location. Okay. So Zomato people delivering there, how they are reaching and how other people are able to reach them. Okay. So what is the possibility? You have to talk to the clients. Okay. Then only you will be doing the real work. So that is what you have to understand. Okay. Because when you do some cases, okay, or you do some analysis, getting the requirements from the actual client, you can give back them and ask them to test. That is the positive part. Okay. So any client, okay, after you do completing your work, okay, you have to submit the data to either in the form of a software or in the format of a study, anything it may be. Whatever you have done, who has to validate everything? The client. Okay. So that should be very much clear in the industry project. Okay. So always see that industry projects are not a research project. Okay. That is different. Okay. They are in papers. Okay. They are in some theorems. Okay. Which you can justify that this algorithm will be benefited. But when you are going for a real implementation, okay, whether that algorithm works for that client is the important. Okay. You can give some fantastic algorithms. Okay. But for an online shop, online grocery shop or an online supermarket, whether the application you have designed works. Okay. Who will give the feedback? Because that feedback will help you to improve your learning. Okay. So that's what hectic task for. Okay. But you know what has to be done. The wonderful student you are getting. Okay. That he will be able to automate that entire process. Okay. So that faculty will be giving only the inputs required. Ultimately, I want to get the output. I have to adjust certain parameters. Which parameters I will adjust, I will get the appropriate treatment. Everything we know. Okay. So you are the client now. Okay. So you have to give that requirement to the student. After the student understands the requirements and completes the implementation or something, who is going to validate? You are there to validate. Then only the cycle completes. Okay. So many projects having a review, having analyzed what is the output will not help him to understand the struggle. Okay. So as for the software development cycle, first is your requirement gathering. Okay. Or not anything, not only software development cycle. Anything you get, first is nothing but you gather your requirements. Okay. Then you do an analysis. In that analysis, maybe you can do that step, whatever Madam tool or Ma'am tool, like doing some literature study. Okay, what best fits the problem. Okay, those things can be done, and then you are going to design it, and then it is going to be given to the client for testing. Okay, so he will be able to figure out whether the study you have carried out or any automation you have done or any implementations you have carried out, all those things they will validate and they will give us satisfactory. So this is what is happening in the industry. So that kind of practice is required in your industry project. So that is very important. So a case study is a real or a realistic situation presenting a problem. Okay, it requires learners to analyze, okay, evaluate and recommend a course of action. Okay, so this will happen only when you do an interaction. Okay. See, you can suggest that if you are not able to find a client also, even your peer group can act as a client. See that everyone will face a problem in the academic institution. Nobody will be ready to give you some support of the actual problem statement or data or something like that. So if somewhere they are able to find out, it's very good. Appreciate them to do that work. Okay. If not, you can be one of your clients. Okay. Or you can ask the peer groups to act as your client. But what is the hierarchy is you have to understand. Any case study you are taking, so you should have a client who should be able to give the requirements. And after you do the process of analyze, evaluate and recommend for any course of action, they should be validated. Okay. So until the client requirements are being satisfied, that project doesn't get complete. Okay. So one of the rubrics, okay, which has to be added for this kind of industry-oriented problems, I think, but you have to include the client report also. Okay. So in that case, ground reality, which is going to be learner-driven. Okay, real problems, groundworks, everything they will be studying. Some field work if required also, we can allow the students to do it. Okay, and then it will be an outcome linked product. Okay, so this is how you have to understand your case study. So it's not like a story given to you. Okay, try to understand it and implement. Okay, should be a real life context. So you can see here, so why do we need case studies? What I told. So problem with traditional teaching is nothing but we cover only what to do. Okay. So critical thinking in ambiguous situation is what industry needs. Okay. So safe space to practice your professional judgment is only way to handle with the help of your case studies. See, in your thesis writing also, you have come up with some solutions. Okay, how that can be justified is nothing but you can add your case studies. Okay, so how and when, why and how. Okay, if it is justified, that problem will be accountable. Okay, so it has actually a very good procedure. Like whether there are maybe what is the, say for example, given a case. Okay. So you can represent it as a flow. What are the various stakeholders who are involved in various stages? Okay. So that also has to be identified. See, you all told like for your ERP, your academic, your administrative people is giving you the requirements. Okay. But who will? What is the next groundwork the student or the implementation team has to do? They have to go with and talk to the real users. Okay, so they have to see that they talk with the students. Okay, how they have to access it. How they then you have to talk to the teachers. Okay, and all, for example, all the stakeholders, teaching faculties, non-teaching faculties, account section, HR. Likewise, you have various stakeholders. Okay, so it is not only the administrative people will do that. Okay, you have to involve other collaborative actions also to see that the entire requirements are end-to-end. So that is how we have to ask our students also to approach. Okay, this guidance we have to give them because they are only studying what is software life cycle. They will be able to reproduce it. Okay, but what are the things in the requirement gathering? Maybe we will be teaching them. There is something called as maybe computer science faculties will be doing SRS. Software requirement specification. Writing that and drawing something with the help of use case diagrams. Okay, will it be enough? Please, maybe you can tell me a point. Computer science faculties can tell me. By preparing and software requirement specification, which is a document, okay, and then drawing some use cases. Will it be enough for doing a project? Why no?
There should be a design space.
See, that will be always an assumption we will be having. Okay, that will be an assumption we will be having. This might be the input from the user. This might be this is how it might be getting processed. Okay, so that dilemma we have to reduce. Okay, always that is better to go and have a interaction. Okay, and when we are doing any project, not only in your academics perspective, when it comes to industry, team collaboration will be there. How to see that team collaboration happens. Okay, only one. Now, pasanga present பண்ணும்போதே இவன் தான் பண்ணிருப்பான் அப்படின்றது நமக்கு obvious because we will be able to understand it. Okay. But the other person also has to survey in that industry. That is what is obedience. Everybody should be in a same level when they go out of the college. Okay, how do you cannot manually monitor. Okay, so there are softwares, I tell you some softwares which will help you to do that. What is actually practiced in industry also. How they are working on a project. Okay, how they are equally seeing that everybody is trying to contribute to the project. Okay, so that is also very important. So collaboration all across all functions. Okay, so decisions will incomplete your information supply multiple frameworks simultaneously to come to the solutions. Okay, so your use case scenario will help you to do this. Okay, so you can debate. Let's say maybe you might as an code implementer or a problem solver, you will be going with the solution. Okay, so whether the client is interested in that solution will be able to really understood only when you are going to interact with the actual code. Okay, so you can just understand the context. Maybe before that, you are all giving industry projects in your institutes. Is this happening? How do you give projects to the students? How many projects are given in your institute?
They will go through the general classes, ma'am.
Okay.
Go through they will get some topics from because in that there is a review there, some other they will get their part.
This is about the final year project, I think.
Yes.
So what about the other projects? Mini projects or use cases you give?
They do some sort of case study and some sort of basic front-end back-end design,
Okay.
web applications.
Problem statement
Yeah, the students எடுத்து சொல்வீங்களா நீங்க சொல்வீங்களா?
They will select on their own.
Okay. See, for every lab component you are having a project.
Yes, madam. From second year onwards, they are doing project.
Okay. So you have a separate rubrics for evaluating that project
Yes, we have also.
apart from your exercises.
Yes, madam.
Okay. So everybody will do a presentation.
Yes, individual presentation is there. Batch-wise presentation is there.
Okay.
We invite external reviewer also.
So from the industry people will come and evaluate.
Okay. So what type of inputs you are getting from the industry persons?
Yeah, some of the guys going for prototype, patent and something.
Okay.
Altogether, we are doing 812 projects, ma'am. All second year, third year, final year. From the 812 projects, we have shortlisted 215 projects and best projects. Those we can go for a SE publication, scope of synthesis publication. And to the next level, we make it from the 250, we converted into 60 as a patent level, madam. Conversions. We are doing good.
Okay. So you are getting any support from the industry person to
Yes.
check,
Yes.
validate all those things?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So how do you test that problem? What is the traditional projects? Why I ask this question, nothing but this is the way which we are carrying out. Okay, solve traditional problems. Okay, so this is the outcome expected. We are testing it. We are satisfied. Okay, but in the user scenario, everybody will not be satisfied. Okay, how to satisfy? Everybody likes cooking food, right? Okay, so how many of you like tomato? How many of you like Swiggy? How many of you like direct delivery at the outlet? Okay, for example, you take your Domino's or your common items. Okay, they have their delivery partners also. Okay, so in that case, how many of you prefer to book directly in the Domino's website, or using Swiggy or using Zomato? How do you classify that difference?
Then there's a good offer being
Okay, so first thing is, what is the offer they are giving? Okay, so sometimes good offers will come in Swiggy, so we may go for Swiggy book. Sometimes we see that direct outlet offers are there, we are booking. So that is the way, okay, how to satisfy the clientele system. See, because all these three providers are doing the same service for the same item. Okay, so how the clients are choosing the platform, because choosing that platform is the selling point for them. Okay, for that is the revenue point of generation. How to see that platform is used more than the other platforms for the same items. So that kind of decisions, okay, we have to make the students to think. Okay, so that is what is the real world scenario. So real world scenario is nothing but not building a app, okay, which will help you to deliver some items. Okay, how to withstand in the market. Okay, how to be competitive. Okay, how to handle the people. Okay, how to bring in the maximum usage of the app in that case. Okay, so apart from the technical requirements, there will be like non-technical requirements also like this. Okay, how to see that the number of users who use this particular app for making your order of your Domino's. Okay, there in Swiggy or in why Domino's, there are delivery partners, why still Domino's is successfully able to run an individual delivery partner and an app for booking a Domino's. Okay, so these are the very critical higher order thinking which we have to impose on the students. Okay, so how the market works, or from the existing examples itself, we have to be in the position to relate them, make them realize. Okay, so knowing about a mobile application development and building a mobile application is not a project. Okay, how do you see that you retain the customers to use your application is what your other work also the student has to do. Maybe you can say that this is only software team, so that is marketing team. True. Okay. So what role you are going to fit? You have to set up a contacts in the team. We say we are doing team projects. Okay. So in that team, okay, who are playing the role of developer? Who wants to play the role of marketer? Okay. So who wants to understand the statistics? Likewise, we have to define a role. Okay. Then only they will try to act upon the role. See, all cannot, in the entire 5-member team, all cannot be able to write a code. Okay. So there will be different kinds of people. ஒருத்தர் நல்லா பேச வரும், ஆனா வந்து அவனால இம்ப்ளிமெண்டேஷன் பண்ண முடியாது. ஸோ அப்போ அவனுக்கு அந்த ரோலை அவங்க டீம்ல இருந்து ஒருத்தவங்க ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்ணணும். ஓகே, உனக்கு டாக்குமெண்டேஷன் வருமா, டாக்குமெண்டேஷன். ஸோ 100% he will grow his skill in documentation. See, need not all the 5 members should do documentation. Okay, so one person can do that. Okay, and one person can work on statistics. One person can work on implementation. Implementation le front end, back end irukku. UI UX impressive ஆனதா நம்ம அந்த பேஜ்க்கே போவோம். So for example, we have Amazon. Okay, so we have other online store also. Okay, for example, இப்போ இங்கே நான் கேட்டு வச்சுக்கோங்க, அமேசான் எத்தனை பேர் முடிச்சிருக்கு, ஃப்ளிப்கார்ட் எத்தனை பேர் முடிச்சிருக்கு அப்படி நான் கேட்கலாம். Okay, so most of us will be liking Amazon because of the features. Okay, but offers பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஃப்ளிப்கார்ட் is more. Okay, so that is the trend they are following to make the users to land in the Flipkart. ஆனா பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம ப்ராடக்ட்ஸோட அஷூரன்ஸா இருக்கட்டும் நமக்கு வந்து ஃப்ளிப்கார்ட்ல இருக்கு. ஸோ அதே மாதிரி இப்போ நம்ம ஏஜியோல ஓரளவுக்கு நிறைய பேர் பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க ரிலையன்ஸ் ஸ்டோர்ல. ஆனா மீஷோல ட்ரை பண்ணுவோம், அதுக்கப்புறம் வாங்க மாட்டோம். ஓகே, we can see the quality. Okay, so they are selling prices with low quality, very less rate, but the quality is also getting compromised. So in that case, that is their marketing strategy. Okay, still people are liking Misho. Okay, I'm not here to talk about the applications, but what are the features? Okay, making them to still the customers to stick on to that particular app. Okay, so that is what I am trying to. So those are the things which we have to cultivate in our students. Okay.
Small note. In this case, whatever the case study you told, shall we ask the students to collect the surveys from
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely. That is also one of the process.
Sorry, I didn't submit it as a case study. Like this platform is like for this many people.
Yes. Yeah, the context is not only implementation. Survey strategy is also a project. Okay. So in that, doing an analytics is also a project. Okay, that can also be considered because management aspect of it is a lot. Okay. So So இப்போ இந்த உங்க காலேஜ் இருக்கிறது ரொம்ப ரிமோட்டான லொகேஷன். Okay. So you are attaching yourself to the back, அதனால உங்களுக்கு காலேஜ்ல ஒரு ATM இருக்கு. Outside are யோசிக்க they will not be able to come and access the ATM. So இந்த ஏரியால எத்தனை ATM இருக்கு? அதுக்கு field study தான் வேணும். Okay. So ஒரு ATM ஒரு பேங்க் கிட்ட ரெக்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணி அந்த ATM எடுத்துட்டாங்க. அவங்க என்னெல்லாம் யோசிக்கணும்? அவங்க எப்படி பேங்க்ல மணி லோட் பண்ணணும், செக்யூரிட்டி. ஓகே, காலேஜ்குள்ள இருக்கிறதுனால செக்யூரிட்டி இருக்கு. ஸோ வெளியே இந்த ரோட்ல வைக்க முடியுமா? ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஃபீல்ட் ஸ்டடிஸ் ஆல்சோ அ கேஸ் ஸ்டடி. ஓகே, ஸோ டூயிங் அ ரெக்வயர்மெண்ட் அனாலிசிஸ் அண்ட் கிவிங் அ சொல்யூஷன் itself can be considered as a industry oriented project. அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் இம்ப்ளிமெண்டேஷன். ஓகே, ஸோ ப்ரொவைடிங் ஆல் டூயிங் திங்ஸ் பில்டிங் அப் ஆன் தட். ஓகே, ஸோ industry case study is the real requirements. Okay, நீங்க ஒரு பேங்க் அப்ரோச் பண்ணா பண்ண சொல்லுங்க. Okay, எனக்கு இந்த இடத்துல ஒரு ATM வேணும் அப்படினா they will send the field officers. Okay, how many number of users are there in that region is the first thing they will do it. Okay, then they will check the proximity of other ATMs. Okay, அதுக்கப்புறம் how far the police station is between the ATMs. Okay, how frequently you can load the cash. Likewise, these are the questions which immediately comes into my mind and telling. But when it comes to the real fact, okay, there are other points also which can be considered. Okay, so இப்போ நான் இங்க வைக்கிறதுனால அங்க வந்து இன்னொருத்தர் பிளான் பண்ணுவாங்களா? அப்போ என்னோட ATM யூசேஜ் வந்து கம்மியாகிறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. So அந்த transactions. So whether it will serve the purpose அப்படின்றத ஸ்டடி பண்ணிட்டு தான் அவங்க அந்த ATM வைக்கிறாங்க. So அதே இங்க நான் ஹோட்டல் ஆரம்பிச்சா எத்தனை பேர் ஹைவேல நிறுத்துவாங்க அப்படின்றது கூட ஒரு ஸ்டடி தான். ஓகே, so everything needs a complete study by doing some analysis.
If we do those kind of application-based projects, the research and academic purpose application is quite complicated, right?
Sir, nowadays case studies also has been accepted in
I am telling sir, I'll answer for your question also. Nowadays, when you are doing some research paper, where are you getting the data? On what data you are working?
The first week, calculus and some.
You are using Hugging Face or Casual or some already available open source.
Yes.
That might be for different country also. Region-wise data is not appropriate. If you are going to work on this groundwork, collect your data and then you do your research actually means it will be more.
Journals are already expecting local data, not
Yes.
data available.
Yes. சரி, நீங்க வந்து ரெட்டினோபதிக்கு வந்து ஒரு உங்களுக்கு டயபெட்டிக்ஸ் இருக்கான்னு சொல்லி நீங்க டெஸ்ட் பண்றீங்கன்னா அந்த கேண்டில்ல அவைலபிளா இருக்க டேட்டாவோ இல்ல ஹக்கிங் ஃபேஸ்ல அவைலபிளா இருக்க டேட்டா இந்தியன் கான்டெக்ஸ்ட்ல இருக்கா? நம்மளோட ஃபுட் ஹேபிட்ஸ் வேற, ஃபாரின் கம்பெனி
we have data.gov.in.
எஸ் data.gov. அதுலயும் வந்து கண்ட்ரி பேஸ் இருக்கு, எல்லா கான்டெக்ஸ்ட்லயும் இருக்கா? நாட் ஃபார் ஆல் கான்டெக்ஸ்ட். So health care இருக்கு, I accept, but in that case also region wise some specific diseases are not for all diseases.
So if they ask project outcome, we can show the survey study is still enough, na?
Yes sir, அதுவே ஒரு பெரிய ஸ்டடி தான் சார். அது மட்டுமே பண்ண சொன்னாலே ஒரு டீம் பண்ண சொன்னாலே
survey papers.
அது வந்து நீங்க செகண்ட் இயர் லெவல்ல பண்ண சொல்லலாம், அடுத்த தேர்ட் இயர் லெவல்ல நீங்க அதை இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ண சொல்லலாம். So always certain strategies you can fix the domain in the early level also. Second year நான் இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராஜெக்ட் தான் பண்ண போறேன், தேர்ட் இயர் ஃபைனல் இயர் ஸ்ட்ராங்கா இருக்கு. So ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் ஒரு செகண்ட் இயர் ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட், தேர்ட் இயர் ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட், ஃபைனல் இயர் பண்ணும்போது see area of interest மாறும், அதுல அவ இன்டகிரேஷன் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஏன்னா interdisciplinary and also cross boundaries of applications பண்றது தப்பில்லை. ஆனா அவங்களோட த்ரெட்டை நீங்க மாத்துனீங்கன்னா அவங்களோட ஃபவுண்டேஷன் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கும். இண்டஸ்ட்ரி அதுதான் விரும்புது. That is what is industry ready for jobs. Okay, they have a strong foundation on what they learn, how things has to be done. அப்படின்னா they will be happy in employment. So okay, already இதெல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு இதுதான் நான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன் அப்படின்றத அவங்க டைரக்டா ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ்ல போடலாம். ஸோ அதுல அவன் எது ஸ்பெஷலிஸ்டா இருக்கா அப்படின்னு அவன் ப்ரூவ் பண்றானா அதை பேஸ் பண்ணி இண்டஸ்ட்ரி ரெடி ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்.
What is the accept of the sample size now to justify?
What is that?
Accept the sample size.
See, once you have got some data, depending upon your algorithm, from there also you can generate synthetic data. you have to have the ground reality data. For machine learning, data deep learning context is but if you have understood, see nowadays you have this AI and AI tools. They are developing, they are generating synthetic data. If you give a sample data, see sample data. We are taking it from the Canvas or some existing data sources. But this type of field study, they do it at a smaller scale also. Okay, we'll give you a trend which will help us to generate synthetic data. That is, this is one of the way. I'm not telling this is the way we have to do it. Okay, you can try how your results are transforming and how you are able to get your outcomes. So that is what is your real case studies. So multiple valid approaches, decisions and judgments are needed, which real world context is what I am talking about. Okay, and collaborative discussions is required for all the stakeholders who are involved in the project. And finally, test, analyze and evaluation is. So these are the various types of industry-oriented case studies in different contexts. It fixes across all disciplines. Okay, so it's not only for a specific field. So you can go for recommendations, investigations, create, judge, simulate, access. Okay, so based on this, you can find various case studies in that. So you can go for decision case. I mean, the Zomato application and the applications that we worked on, decision based. Okay, the students must recommend a course of action for completing options. Okay, so that is what is decision case. Okay, decision. Okay, so another diagnostic. Okay, so student identify something is wrong. I have built some application or there is something going wrong on the implementation strategies. Okay, already successful or விஷயம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கு. Okay, ஆனா திடீர்னு அந்த ஒரு drop வருது. Okay, for example நம்ம வந்து there is an option like we have this Uber back parcel and Ola parcel இதெல்லாம் வந்து பிறகு sometimes நமக்கு app ல இந்த support இல்லனாலும் we buy it, we ask those people to deliver to us. Okay, so அந்த innovation எங்க இருந்து வந்திருக்கும்? அந்த innovation எங்க இருந்து வந்திருக்கும்? Maybe some reasons. நம்மளால வந்து traffic வந்து move பண்றதுக்கு கஷ்டமா இருக்கலாம் ஒரு context. Okay, so everybody will not be comfortable in driving. Okay, அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு அந்த scenario-வை understand பண்ணிக்கிறது வந்து அந்த ஒரு innovation-ஆ இருக்கலாம். So அந்த மாதிரி சின்ன நமக்கு வந்து tolls ரொம்ப லேட் ஆயிட்டு இருக்குது. Fast ஆக introduce பண்ணாங்க ஒரு இப்போ கம்மியா இருக்கு. So that is what is the difference. Okay, and let me tell you, Paytm is a wonderful innovation. Have you thought that we will not carry wallets? Okay, with mobile phone everyone can go to any place, come back safely. That's the situation because everything is in our mobile phone. Because we stopped withdrawing monies in our ATM. I was talking about one application, whether there is an ATM required in this particular location. But that context itself fails now because of ATM. Okay? Nobody withdraws money. Okay? And of course, I have to tell everybody gets a salary, we all see only numbers. Okay? And that numbers reduces within 5 days. That is yes. So all numbers. So numbers are being vanished soon. That is, but nobody is now feeling the cash because of the digitalization. Okay. So in that case, those wonderful ideas. Okay. ஒரு 2 ரூபாய்க்கு ஒரு பொருள் வாங்க கூட Paytm பண்றதுக்கு ஆயிடுச்சு இல்லையா? So that is the difference. 2 ரூபாய்க்கு எதுவும் கிடைக்கிறது இல்ல, அது வேற விஷயம். If you go to a small petty shops also, everybody is having a UPI code. So that kind Yeah, actually, we conduct, high-tech programs at NIT Chennai. So what is the purpose of this high-tech is nothing but we bring in some underdeveloped countries to our institute, people from underdeveloped countries, which is sponsored by their ministry and our ministry. They used to come. Okay, most of them come from Africa and our eastern countries also they come. When they arrive at Chennai, we will be giving some TA in currencies. When they go to shop, okay, they want to purchase something. Nobody in India is accepting money. They are asking GPay. Okay. One person, Namibian guy came and asked, "What is the GPay?" I was like, GPay is an app which we pay. I was not aware that their countries are not at all having UPI transactions.
Because our
So that is the real fact. Our India is actually towards a developed country. We have to be happy about it. Their bank itself is not supporting that feature. I told, please install this app. You can configure your. After 10 minutes talking with him only, I was able to realize that support itself is not in that bank. So that is the innovation in India. Okay, we can see that everywhere we are able to go with cashless. Okay, but it is not the situation everywhere.
Especially our Reserve Bank of India only the transaction of a BAM. So they have that research people only.
Yes,
they have done it because of the Paisa transaction itself done.
Yes. So as sir told, I had an opportunity to visit Philippines. Okay. So Philippines is moving to plastic currencies. I saw a plastic currency there. So it was different. Okay. I still have one with me with not spending it. Because that type of currencies maybe we will see in the future. Okay. So the difference you can see that even though Philippines is less populated than our country. Okay, their economy is also good. I was thinking, when I was doing a dollar exchange, what happened? I thought it will be less than our currency, but it was more than our currency. That is a very small country we are going to go. What can I do? If I give with 10,000, I may get a very good amount in it, but it was opposite. Then only I went and searched in the dollar comparison. They are very ahead. Okay. Yes. Okay. So they are only 50 something, $50 or something in the we are almost reaching 90. So you can see the difference. We have almost reached 100 years. So our country is very populated and having so much options. We are still behind us in that. There are several other reasons for their investments which is happening in Philippines. It's not to talk about. We have to see that the smaller countries are also economically good. Okay? Lots of government options are there. For them, there is everything is free. Okay, that is also the medical free, education so things are also free for them. Okay, we are taxpayers, still we are not able to get anything free of cost here. So let's come back to the topic. So what do you mean by diagnostic is nothing but how you can provide some solution or something goes okay. Okay. Something the regular practice is going on okay. Why there is a sudden drop or how to you have to analyze and how you can withstand in the market. Okay. This what is the investigation process. Okay. So innovate, there is no existing solution. ATM is that innovation. Okay, the requirements. This was the change here. Students can pitch in some new products or process something similar to that. The next is ethical cases. Okay, so the what are the values? Students can navigate to moral complexity also in certain cases. Okay, role play cases. Students take stakeholders' roles and negotiate from conflicting processes. These also are case study. Okay, so like as I told you, behave as a marketing team and see that you are able to withstand. So those type of problems also you can give it. Evaluation. Okay, so students compares, ranks and justifies the best choice. So these are the different types of industry-oriented case studies we can have. So one example, okay, again I took it from GPT only. Okay, you can also take some cases from GPT. So one such case which was taken from GPT was generic drug market. Okay. So what is this company like Sun Pharma Co. Sun Pharma, okay, has focused on a branded medicine. Okay. Government tender has been opened up for generic drug worth 120 crores. Okay. The CEO sees as an opportunity. Whereas the CFO, which is nothing says that there is some warning that entering genetics could erode the brand value of the existing portfolio. The sales director argues the company lacks distribution network for a generic volume, so the board must decide within 2 weeks. This is the context given for it. So first thing you have to identify is nothing but stakeholders. Okay. So you have to give a role for every stakeholders to debate on that point. Okay. So for example, here there are CEO, CFO, and the sales director, and some R&D heads are the various stakeholders. So they have to come up with the points to be justified based on the inputs given in the debate. Okay. So they see that the data provided, and you can see here the discussion questions has to be listed. So what is this slide tells you is nothing but how to approach a problem. Okay. So don't worry about this problem. Okay. So given any problem statement, okay, by any one client system, you have to identify who are all was involved in that context. Okay. So you are based on your team size. When you are asking your students to work, you can give each role for a student to play. Okay. So that everybody will be trying to justify their own points. Okay. You will be giving a forum to work on that, to handle that scenario. Okay. So that is what is the first point. Then what is the data required? What type of analysis each and every stakeholders can do it. Okay. And then with the data provided, we are going to come up with some questions. Okay. For which you have to find the answers. Okay. So that is how any problem which is given to you has to be approached. Okay. So why and why not? Okay, is the major question which comes in. So how should the short-term revenue against the brand risk has to be done? And you can see here what needs to be true for you to say yes. Okay, so likewise the analysis will be carried out. Any problem whichever you are taking, okay, so has to be done in similar. Okay. See this is not for us. Okay, we are going to give this input to the students. Okay, for how they should approach a problem. Okay, so who is the client? Okay, so what is their problem? Okay, how you are going to analyze that problem and how you are going to justify that. So in that you are going to see that each and everyone plays that role in that scenario and come out with a justification. Likewise, there is another problem statement. So why is employee attrition rising at a tech park? Okay. So there may be certain reasons like aging factor. Okay. See, Bata University retirement. Okay. But in almost there is the senior faculties, they are retiring. So attrition is not only because of layoffs. Okay. There may be other reason also. Okay. So there will be job opportunities. People are saying that civil course will definitely have an opportunity soon. Like how we seen in mechanical and EC recently. So soon we see that there will be lots of admissions happening in civil as well.
Okay, same retirement will happen in this civil department also.
Okay.
The time
that is called as graying of graying stages or what. Because many people are retiring. So those who are employed in some government sectors 30 years before, they are having a retirement at this stage. So definitely we see that there will be a job opportunities growing in the civil. Okay, not only civil, we have seen recently in this submission mechanical, right? So, எங்கெல்லாம் வந்து numbers இந்த கம்மியாகி computer scienceல ஜாஸ்தியாச்சு. So that is the trend the private colleges are following. Coming doctors, the demand for AI is increasing. Okay, so how many people are getting employed is different, but everybody is fancily studying. Yeah, okay. What when we were studying, they were telling core is very important. We studied other computer science only. Okay, now in the UG itself they are narrowing down to specific session. So how it will be again foundational skills will they have or not is a question mark. So narrowing down as per the logic will go only in the PG. That is what is the trend this was period. But what because there are industry trend other ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. HCLs, L&T based companies and Redington பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 12th முடிச்சவங்க டைரக்டா எம்ப்ளாய் பண்றாங்க without degree. So அந்த மாதிரி trend this is not a major trend அப்படின்ற மாதிரி ஃபீல் பண்ணலாம். Directly studying AI and MI concept. What is essential for job? Adu appreciable. So direct up preparing it for project ready. Okay, there are, for example, I think you are aware of HCL has Tech B, L&T has they take 12 pass out students. Okay, what is required for the project alone they train and they employ it in the so that kind of trend was also they receive stipend immediately after they join. So that is also one trend. Foundation of Amina Pochi Abhinadu. Next question. Okay. So yeah, how because nowadays government is also accrediting the field member. The training programs they are taking it for their education also. When I think I was talking in the first session also. This ABC, Academic Bank of Credits. Okay, so apprenticeship training to make creditize பண்ணலாம்னு சொல்லிட்டு government is bringing. Okay, so for example, certain period they are working on a domain now, and the domain they can get equivalence accreditation. So for example, நம்ம diploma முடிச்சவங்க டைரக்டா செகண்ட் இயர்ல வந்து உட்கார்றாங்க. அதே மாதிரி இந்த மாதிரி ட்ரைனிங் முடிச்சவங்களுக்கு they are going to give opportunities for accreditation on the training program they have taken to be directly given some credits like placing them in the second year or so. And the schemes also is there in NEP 2020. NEP 2020 supports for that. Okay, so that in implementation can no varum secret. There will be opportunities for those people also. Those who are getting skill based training also can get their educations very comfortably. So that is one point. So this is like okay, I will just deviate it. So this is another case study. So why attrition rising? Again you can see the same trend. So who are the stakeholders? Okay, what are the questions you have asked and how do you take the data provided and how to you are going to do your analysis. So this is again an innovation based case study. Last mile delivery solution for Grosser now. It is an online startup operating in Bangalore. You may be asking whether how they are based on the strong demand among the apartments and gated communities, how the delivery has to be happening. Okay, so yeah. So how they are going to handle that scenario. So that is what is discussed. Delivery time, how the navigation should happen, all this should be dependent. And this is an example of ethical case study. So quality defects disclosed anymore. So manufactures brake components for a major car OEM in this case. How the quality is being analyzed. Okay. So in the market, quality based analysis also can be a project. Okay. So that defects, how you are going to find out whether that can go into the market. Okay, some immediate failures paapoma அப்படின்றத அதுதான் ethical practice. Okay. Even the rate of manufacturing, date of manufacturing is very important in various cases. Okay, the products, okay, what is the expiry date fixed பண்ணுறது, how they are fixing, all comes under theoretical case. So படம் நமக்கு ஞாபகம் வருதா? This Sivakarthikeyan movie. So the products, that is what is ethical. Okay, so that those type of cases, not only for food products, okay, for other products also we can go for like how quality check is very important. How do you do that quality check? How do you analyze that? That goes different. I think we have a mixed group, not only computer science. Okay, we have different departments here. So you can think how you can fit in your solution here. Quality check is one example. Okay. And this is another case study, Veltech case study. So you can see here there's a company called Steel and Allied Works. So they are entering an annual wage negotiatives. Okay. So how this pay has to be handled. Okay. Those policies, okay, retention policies, what are the freebies they can give for their benefits, okay, all those things can be analyzed. What will be the turnover after that, after spending this much, okay? நம்ம இதில் சொல்கிறோம் ஈஸியாக இதெல்லாம் வந்து பில்டிங் கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன்ஸ் வந்து இல்லை கம்பெனி ஒர்க்கு நார்த் பீப்புள் வந்து எம்ப்ளாய் பண்ணுறாங்க. இட்ஸ் வெரி டிஃபிகல்ட் டாஸ்க் ஃபார் தம். ஓகே, they have to bring them, okay, so sustain பண்ண வைக்கணும் அவங்கள. ஓகே, ஆஃப்டர் கமிங் இயர் நம்ம பீப்புள் மாதிரி ஃபாரின் போனோடனே உடனே அடுத்த கம்பெனி ஸ்விட்ச் ஓவர் ஆகிற மாதிரி அவங்களும் இங்கே வந்த பிறகு என்ன நடக்குதுன்னா they are looking for better pay. Okay, கூட்டிட்டு வரவங்க கூட இருக்க மாட்டாங்க அவங்க லாஸ்ட் மினிட். they are switching on. ஸோ அதுவே ஒரு பெரிய ஃபியூஸ் ஸ்டடி. எப்படி வந்து அவங்க ரீட்டைன் பண்ணுறதுன்றது அந்த கம்பெனிக்கு ஒரு சேலஞ்ச். ஓகே, ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு வந்து இருக்கிற இடம், ஃபுட்டு, மெடிக்கல் ஃபெசிலிட்டிஸ் எல்லாம் கொடுத்தா கூட பிகாஸ் அதர் பீப்புள் சீஸ் as a source for getting the people who already got trained in that industry. So how you can put it? Why I have to go and invest on bringing people from their place? They are available here. The pool of people, trained people are here. How to work on some strategy to increase the pay and pull them here? It's also a market analysis you can do it. Okay. So now, when I was in trade, I kept it wait. Okay. After a month, 2 months, she was coming continuously. My opposite house tenant employed her. Then finally, I lost my maid. So simple scenario la nama paakalam. Okay. Of course, on the payment இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கிறது ஒரு habit. அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு revenue point of view la it is a beneficial one. So that is how the context is available. You can see that how to retain them, okay, for a long term. Okay, there are real world problems. Okay. So why ERP should retain Max company has to chance? Okay, so you can see there are a 60-store chain. Okay, they are trying to replace the billing system. Okay, in that context, if you happen to see that the legacy billing system they are replacing it with ERP based billing system, அப்போ வந்து 3 பேர் கம்ப்ளீட் பண்றாங்க. ஓகே, இந்த context. So இது பாத்தீங்கன்னா இதுல நம்ம என்ன பண்ணணும்? Evaluate பண்ணணும் 3 பேர். Okay, so you have to evaluate who will provide the best process. Okay, so what are the things you have to consider? Okay, so not only customizing and giving you to first thing is how long they will be able to render the service and support for us is one important factor. So அது வந்து ஒரு ஃபேக்டர்ல நம்ம பையனுக்கு இப்பவே சொல்லணும். ஓகேங்களா, ரியல் வேர்ல்ட்ல அவனுக்கும் அது யூஸ் ஆகும். அவன் நாளைக்கு கம்பெனி போய் அவன் ஒரு டிசிஷன் எடுக்கிற இடத்துல இருந்தா he will be able to know that okay what are the factors he has to consider when he is in the purchase team. அவனுக்கு புரியும் என்ன பண்ணணும். அந்த மாதிரி கேஸ் ஸ்டடிஸ் ஆல்சோ we can take. How to analyze a particular compliance evaluation, do an evaluation of multiple things. This is that for 3 software products. Okay, you might also think for a different things, different component. நம்மளே வந்து ஒரு அந்த மேனேஜ்மென்ட்ல டெஸ்ட் பண்ண சொல்றாங்க. ஓகே, இமிடியேட்டா ஒரு லேப் செட் பண்ணணும். ஓகே, it may be computer science lab or hardware lab, any lab. So find out the items which has to be purchased. அது மட்டும் எதுவுமே கொடுப்பீங்களா, வேற என்ன கொடுப்பீங்க? Quotation, comparisons. Okay, have they done it for a similar industry or not? Okay, same academic industry க்கு அவங்க என்ன சர்வீஸ் பண்ணிருக்காங்க, அவங்க வேற ஏதாவது ஐடி கம்பெனிக்கு பண்ணிருக்கலாம். ஆனா ஐடி கம்பெனிக்கு பண்ணதும் அகாடமிக்ஸ் பண்ணதும் டிஃபரெண்ட். ஓகேங்களா, அந்த மாதிரி கம்பேரிசன்ஸ்லாம் we have to do it. Okay, what is their turnover also has to be considered as an important factor. Okay, ஒரு ஸ்டார்ட் அப் கம்பெனிக்கு நம்ம கொடுத்துட முடியாது, ஏன்னா அவங்களோட பாலிசிஸ் எதுவுமே நமக்கு ஸ்ட்ரைட்டா ஃபிட் ஆகாது. அந்த மாதிரி you have to do a know what is the procedure for procurement itself. Okay, not only getting a list of products and giving some quotations. ஒரு ரெண்டு மூணு quotations கம்பேர் பண்ணி பெஸ்ட் சார் சொன்ன மாதிரி we have to do it. So where all they will learn this? By this giving this kind of case studies and examples. Okay, ஏன்னா அவனுக்கு புக்ல இருக்கிறது மட்டும் தான் இருக்கு. ஓகே, ஒரு கம்ப்யூட்டர் வாங்கணும்னா அவன் என்ன பாப்பா, எவ்வளோ ரேம் இருக்கு, எவ்வளோ ப்ராசஸர் இருக்கு, அவ்வளோதான் நம்ம சொல்லி தருவோம். கம்ப்யூட்டரோட ரெக்குவயர்மெண்ட்ஸ் தான் இருக்கு. இப்போ ஹெச்பி வாங்கணுமா இல்லை லெனோவோ வாங்கணுமான்றதை அவன் எப்படி டிசைட் பண்ணணுன்றதை நம்ம சொல்லி தரணும். So summarizing all these ideations, okay, is the 5-step framework for developing industry cases. Okay, so you have to define the outcome. Okay, again நான் இந்த ஸ்லைட் எதுக்குன்னா நம்மளோட அட்டைன்மென்ட்க்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி we have to match. Okay, so think about which taxonomy you can fit in so that you will be getting a better attainment. அந்த மாதிரி நீங்க Bloom's taxonomy-யும் combine பண்ணி உங்களோட ப்ராஜெக்ட் உங்களோட கோர்ஸோட அவுட்கமையும் கன்சிடர் பண்ணி POs ஏதாவது ஒரு மேப் ஆகல, ஆனா அது மேப் ஆகிறதுனால நமக்கு ஓவராலா இம்ப்ரூவ் ஆகுது அப்படின்னா அதுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரியும் you can frame your outcomes. Okay, பசங்க வந்து எத்திக்கல் பிஹேவியரை அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணிக்கணும் ரியல் வேர்ல்ட் சினாரியோல அப்படின்னா அதுக்கு ஒரு செட் ஆஃப் ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் கொடுக்கலாம். ஓகே, ஹவு டு ஹேண்டில் த டிசிஷன் பேஸ்ட், அதனால ஒரு ஆப்ஜெக்டிவ்க்கு அட்டைன் ஆகுதுன்னா யூ ஹாவ் டு திங்க். ஸோ யூ ஹாவ் டு கேட்டகரைஸ். நம்ம நிறைய இண்டஸ்ட்ரி கேசஸ் பார்த்துருக்கோம். இப்போ நமக்கு என்ன முக்கியம், வாட் இஸ் த பர்பஸ் ஆஃப் கிவிங் த இண்டஸ்ட்ரி கேஸ் ஸ்டடிஸ்? We have to see that we have to get a better mapping and better attainment. அப்போ we have to do a reverse engineering here. Okay, so இதனால இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் எல்லாம் நம்ம என்கரேஜ் பண்ண போறோம் அப்படின்றது நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருச்சு. ஆனா எப்படி அதை நம்மளோட சிஸ்டத்துல ஃபிட் ஆகிறதுக்காக we have to define a better outcome. Okay, so which will be matching with our requirements. Okay, and then you have to align your industry problem with that. Okay, so you can find stakeholders, as I told you, a real client, okay, or your peer group, or your alumni, okay, or your institute personals, okay, who has some experience in that domain. Okay, in that particular domain, you have to see. But as for the procurement process, ke enna procedure nu namakku yarukku theriyum. Pioneer recruitment கான ஒரு ஆப் பண்ண சொல்றோம் அப்படினா நீங்க இமிடியேட்டா யாருக்கு அனுப்பணும்? நம்ம இதெல்லாம் கண்டிப்பா அக்கவுண்ட் செக்ஷன் இருப்பாங்க இல்லையா, அவங்க கிட்ட அனுப்பலாம். இங்கே நம்ம நிறைய கிளைண்ட்ஸ் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ நீ போயிட்டு நம்ம காலேஜோட அக்கவுண்ட் செக்ஷன்ல ஒரு லிஸ்ட் ஆஃப் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் எடுத்துட்டு போய் இதற்கெல்லாம் ஆன்சர் அவங்க கிட்ட கேட்டு ரெக்குவயர்மெண்ட்ஸ் எழுதிட்டு வா. அதுலேருந்து யூ கேன் ஸ்டார்ட் அப்படின்றத யூ கேன் சே. ஓகே, ஸோ ஐ ஹெல்ப் ஹிம் டு ஐடென்டிஃபை த கிளைண்ட். ஓகே, ஏன்னா யாருமே செகண்ட் இயர் பையனை நம்பி ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட் கொடுக்க மாட்டாங்க வெளியே. ஓகேவா, ஆனால் அவனுக்கு நம்ம ஒரு கேஸ் ஸ்டடி கொடுத்தாகணும். ஓகே, ஹவு வி கேன் ஹெல்ப் தம். ஓகே, ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் த சொல்யூஷன். ஸோ ஜெராக்ஸ் ஷாப்ல கூட்டமாக இருக்கு. ஆல்வேஸ் ப்ராஜெக்ட் சப்மிஷன் அப்பயோ இல்ல லேப் ரெக்கார்ட் சப்மிட் பண்ணும்போது அங்க இருக்கு. அப்போ அவன்கிட்ட எப்படி வந்து நீங்க யாராவது சப்மிட் பண்ணா நான் ஸ்ட்ரீம்லைன் பண்ணி உங்களுக்கு எல்லாம் பிரிண்ட் பண்ணி பைண்ட் பண்ணி உங்களுக்கு ஸ்டேட்டஸ் சொல்றேன், அதுக்கப்புறம் வாங்கன்றது ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட், ரைட்? So now who is the client? The xerox shop in the college is your client. Okay? So அது ஒரு strategy level இருக்கலாம், ஒரு app level இருக்கலாம், எதுல வேணா இருக்கலாம். Okay? டைமிங் கொடுத்துடலாம். Okay? இந்த டைமிங்ல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இயர் வரணும், செகண்ட் இயர் வரணும், இல்ல எப்படி நீங்க பிளான் பண்ண ஹாஸ்டல்ஸ் இந்த டைம்ல வரலாம், ஏதோ ஒரு ஸ்ட்ராட்டஜியை ஒர்க் அவுட் பண்ணி கொடுக்கிறது கூட ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம்கான சொல்யூஷன் தான். So there are solutions around, there are problems around us. Okay? We have to identify that, connect with that people and get it done. Okay? So that is what is the second problem. Source from the real events around us. Okay? So let's and frame the core requirements. Okay? So what is the conflict? Who disagrees and agrees? In that scenario, you will implementation try பண்றீங்க. Okay? அதை யார் வந்து first stop பண்ணுவாங்க? எது வந்து ஒரு லாக் ஃபேக்டரா இருக்கலாம் அந்த அவுட்கம் அச்சீவ் பண்ண முடியாம இருக்கிறதுக்கு அப்படின்றத நீங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணணும். So not in the college I'm talking. Okay, this is the real first scenario. So if you are trying out some outcome, okay, but give a maybe நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி இது ஏதாவது வந்து ஒரு பேட்டர்ன் கோ ப்ராடக்ட் கோ போறதுக்கு பாசிபிள் பண்ணா அதோட ரியல் வேர்ல்ட்ல அந்த எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் ப்ராடக்ட் இருக்கான்றது நம்ம அனலைஸ் பண்ணணும். So இப்போ ஒரு நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி ப்ரொக்யூட்மெண்ட் ப்ராசஸ்க்கு ஒரு ப்ராசஸ் வந்து உங்களை இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ண சொல்றேன். ஏற்கனவே அது உங்க எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் ஜிஆர்பிலே அது ஒரு காம்பனண்டா இருக்கு, அதை எனேபிள் மட்டும் பண்ணா போதுனே எதுக்கு மேனுவல்ஸ் பேஸ் பண்ணணும். ஓகே, that is what is the block factor. Okay, so you have an existing ERP system na adile அந்த காம்பனன்ட் எப்படி கொண்டு வரணும்ன்றத யோசிக்கணும். So next is develop discussions questions. Where you can see that is going to be again mapped with the Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, so what cannot be googled or formula solved. Okay, you have to think. Okay, and next is design the assessment. That is very very important. Okay, so ella mudinchu. Okay, அடுத்து என்ன பண்ணணும்? Assess. Okay, so assess பண்றதுக்கு client கொண்டு போலாம். Okay, number 2 we always need a paperwork rubrics. Okay, this is very much required. Okay, this can be defined on the criteria level and you can define a rating. Okay, so assessment rubrics for case studies. இந்த common rubrics. Okay, உங்களுக்கான மாதிரி நீங்க உங்களோட domain expertise or departments அந்த மாதிரி you can define. Okay, how you want to change your rubrics. I think another session of rubrics was already discussed to you. அதை வச்சு நீங்க ஒரு கேஸ்க்கு எந்த மாதிரி rubrics போடணும்ன்றத you can so you can define, you should define the your rubrics to access. Okay, so in the different domains they எல்லாத்துக்குமே எல்லாமே fit ஆகும். Okay, 5 stages of your framework: outcome, source, dilemma, question and your assessment. For all in any disciplines you can do the same.
Shall we have a break for 10 minutes?
எல்லாருமே enroll பண்ண வச்சிருக்கீங்க. Okay, so as a team அப்புறம் வந்து சொல்றோம்ல the role based access. Okay, who is the team leader, what is the role has to be played by each and every individual, you can define it. And later this has an options to have meetings. Okay, when the meeting was conducted you can record it here. Okay, and if any discussion forums is happening, that also will be recorded in one single platform. Okay, everything you can see the various word out charts, how this project was executed, how the execution happened, what is the involvement of each and every individual. நம்மள கேக்குறாங்கல proof வந்து whether all members contributed, how you are giving the equal marks. நம்ம ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட் அவுட் பிரசன்டேஷன் பார்த்தோமே ஒரு பண்ணாத பையனுக்கு ஒரு 2 மார்க் கம்மி பண்ணிட்டு மத்தவங்க எல்லாருக்கும் ஓரளவுக்கு நல்லா மாற்றம் பண்ணும். ஆனா இந்த வச்சு நம்ம ஜஸ்டிஃபை பண்ணலாம். ஓகே, பயாஸ்டா நான் யாருக்கும் ரெடியூஸ் பண்ணல, உன்னோட இன்வால்வ்மெண்ட் இந்த ப்ராக்ரஸ் சார்ட்ல இதுதான் இருக்கு. ஸோ வாட் வாஸ் த ரோல் அசைன்ட் பை யுவர் டீம் லீடர்? Have you completed? What is the percentage? How frequently you were involved in the discussion? How frequently you contributed? Code GitHub கூடயும் integrate பண்ணிக்கலாம். இதுல இருக்க advantage என்னன்னா it is also integrated with GitHub. So GitHub எதுனா வந்து suppose நீங்க ஏதாவது கோடிங் பண்றீங்க அப்படின்னா அதுல போட்டுடலாம். collaborate நீங்க போட்ட கோடையோ நீங்க போட்ட டாஸ்கையோ இன்னொருத்தவங்க பார்க்கணும்னா அந்த repository you can use it. So that was a complete platform in the Jira code. Okay, the other sorry not only for software developers. Okay, any project development team can use it. Now this software போனீங்கன்னா ஒரு problem statement க்கு they will build the storyboard. நம்ம சொன்னோம்ல requirement எல்லாமே storyboard build பண்ணலாம். Okay, requirements தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டு ஒரு storyboard first எழுதணும். இந்த storyboard ன்றது என்னன்னா நமக்கு என்ன புரிஞ்சுது அப்படின்றத we have to draft it. Okay, so அது எந்த project domain இருந்தாலும் we can draft a project storyboard. Once your storyboard is designed, you have to define the timeline. Okay, so what is the timeline is nothing but software industry also they call it as sprint. Okay, it is some 2 weeks time. Okay, for a module completion and the module time frame they will define it. அதுக்குள்ள நம்மளோட outcome என்ன? So example, if you have given a role for each and every day, which activities has to be done parallel na, you can see that everybody is able to complete within the time frame. The complete monitoring of the project can be done with the help of this particular tool. Okay, maybe you can just do a simple sign on and you can check. So you also have this AI feature now included.
Any
One task which is deadline on 29, I can assign this particular person. Okay. So in the timeline mari, how the molecular contribution, you can view it. So you
How big is the problem? We want to see how we can start the
holistic on the implementation was successful. So all your implementation details should be elaborately discussed here for each and every requirement you have identified. So you have to specify what is the risk you have identified, what is its impact, what is its mitigation plan. So எல்லாமே நீங்க கொடுக்கணும். Okay. So இப்போ சொன்னாதா நான் இத mitigate பண்ணிருக்கேன். Okay. இத ஹேண்டில் பண்ணிருக்கேன். இந்த ரெண்டையும் ஹேண்டில் பண்ணிருக்கேனோட ஸ்டடியோ என்னோட அவுட்கம்லயோ நான் பண்ணிருக்கேன்றதை you have to justify. Next is test log report. Okay. எந்த மாதிரி இன்புட்ஸ்லாம் நீங்க கொடுத்து உங்களோட அவுட்புட்டை டெஸ்ட் பண்ணீங்க அப்படிங்கிறது you have to specify. So இது என்னன்னா what is the relationship between the what is the test log ID, okay, what is the story or sprint you have taken, so what are its test cases, what are its input, expected outcome என்ன அந்த கேஸ் பாஸ் ஆச்சா ஃபெயில் ஆச்சா அப்படிங்கிறது. இது நம்ம கொஞ்சம் சாஃப்ட்வேர் ஓரியன்டா இருந்தாலும் எனி டொமைன்ல நம்ம கஸ்டமைஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். அப்புறம் இதெல்லாம் நீங்க வந்து burn up chart and burn down chart இதெல்லாம் ஜீரா டூல்ல இருந்து எடுத்துக்கலாம், which can be generated. நீங்க இதுக்கு அலைன்டா ஜீரா டூல் ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸ் யூஸ் பண்றாங்க அப்படினா இந்த வந்து ஒரு burn out chart எடுக்கலாம். எப்படி வந்து the task போச்சு அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டு how frequently the meetings and how frequently the discussion going அப்படின்றத you can take it out with burn up chart and burn out charts. அப்புறம் this product நீங்க ஏற்கனவே பண்ண decisions, meeting notes இதெல்லாமே உங்களோட டூல்ல இருக்கு. இல்லனா நீங்க மேனுவலா மானிட்டர் பண்றீங்கனாலும் இட்ஸ் அப் டு யூ. ஓகே. இந்த டூலோட பெனிஃபிட் வந்து you can use it during your student. இந்த ஜீரா டூல் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டானா அவங்க ப்ரொஃபைல்ல ஜீரா டூல் இருக்குன்னு பார்க்குற இண்டஸ்ட்ரி பர்சனுக்கு it will be impressive. Okay. Because industry is using such kind of tools. அப்புறம் உங்களோட ரிசல்ட்ஸ், ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட்ஸ் இதெல்லாம் நீங்க எடுத்து சொல்லலாம் ஸ்டூடண்ட்ஸ் கிட்ட. அப்புறம் முக்கியமானது வந்து your client evaluation report. நம்ம போடுற rubrics இல்லாம okay, this kind of rubrics can be given to the client and this should be part of your industry projects. Okay, so your industry project should have this. So what the name of the project, client details, the problem was well discussed and the requirements goals were very clear. And next is project plan was well defined and communicated from the start. See, நம்ம any ஒரு client கூட discuss பண்ணாலோ often discussion வச்சுக்கணும். Okay, நம்ம வாங்கிட்டு லாஸ்ட்ல போய் காமிச்சோம்னா யாரும் ஒத்துக்க மாட்டாங்க. Okay, ஆனா வந்து எதுக்காக இந்த பிராக்டிஸை நம்ம கல்டிவேட் பண்ணணும்னா ஏன்னா every week or every 2 weeks once they will be having a stand-up call in the companies, okay, to discuss what is the status. Okay, and the activity activities வந்து client குள்ளே அவங்க வைக்கணும். Maybe it is not all the team members should be there. ஒரு team lead கூட ஒரு communication பண்ண மாதிரி. How many at least ஒரு செமஸ்டர்ல 2 times ஆன client கூட அவங்க பேசியிருக்காங்களான்னு நம்ம கன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணணும். அப்பதான் வந்து அந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட் ஒழுங்கா இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்காங்கன்றதை நம்ம வெரிஃபை பண்ண முடியும். நெக்ஸ்ட் வந்து the resources were adequate. ஸோ நம்ம சில ரிசோர்ஸஸ் வந்து கிளைண்ட் சைட்ல இருந்து கொடுத்துருக்க மாட்டாங்க. ஆனா அதையும் நீங்க வந்து சிந்தட்டிக் டேட்டாஸ் வெரிஃபை பண்ணிக்கலாம். இந்த ரேஷியோல இந்த ப்ரொபோர்ஷனல் எடுத்திருக்கோம், இப்படி ஒர்க் பண்ணா உங்களுக்கு ஓகேவா அப்படின்றத கன்சர்னும் யூ ஹேவ் டு see that. The original timeline was realistic and was followed. யார் கொடுப்பாங்க இதை? கிளைண்ட் தான் ஜஸ்டிஃபை பண்ணணும். ஓகே, ஒரு ரெக்வயர்மெண்ட் பண்றோம்னு வந்து சரி நம்ம அப்பாவோட கம்பெனி தான் அப்படின்னு போட்டு வாங்கிட்டு வந்துடுறாங்க. ஆனா அதை வாங்க முடிக்கலன்னா நம்ம தான் அதை என்ஷூர் பண்ணிக்கணும். ஏன்னா நம்ம நாளைக்கு இன்னொரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டுக்காக நம்ம ரெக்வயர்மெண்ட் கேட்கும்போது அவங்க கொடுக்கறதுக்கு ரெடியா இருக்கணும். அந்த ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்பையும் நம்ம ஸ்பாயில் ஆகாம we have to carry over. And teamwork was well demonstrated. இதுக்கு டூல்ஸ் தான் நம்ம only proof. ஓகே, சும்மா லாகின் பண்ணி லாக் அவுட் பண்ணிடல. நம்ம எல்லாருக்கும் யூனிஃபார்மா ஒர்க் அசைன் பண்றோம். ஓகே, இட்ஸ் வெரி ரொம்ப ஃபுல் ப்ரூஃபா இருக்கு. அவங்க லாகின்ல இருந்து தான் அந்த ரெஸ்பான்ஸை சப்மிட் பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கு. So we can verify it. Okay, so whether the teamwork was well demonstrated, the client was communicated on regular intervals and given updates on the progress of the project. Expected project requirements has been satisfied. So in the report கண்டிப்பா நம்ம ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டை சப்மிட் பண்ண சொல்றோம். ஓகே, டெஃபினட்டா இது வந்து ஒரு 2 months செமஸ்டர் டைம்ல பண்ண சொல்லலாம். ஓகேனா டீம் ஒர்க் தான், இண்டிவிஜுவல் ஒர்க் கிடையாது. This is what is the real industry project. Okay, so asking them to take some problem and the goal is different na, it is not an industry project. So end to end na, meet the client, gather the requirement, you have to design it, you have to implement it, interaction, follow-ups, and then deliver the product and get the complete satisfaction. So then comes your assessments and then your conclusions. So in the morning you can draft your requirement specifications. ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட்டுக்கு நம்ம மினி ப்ராஜெக்ட் தான் பண்றோம், அதனால ஒரு 4 ரெக்வயர்மெண்ட், 3 ரெக்வயர்மெண்டோட you can restrict. Okay, and you have to see that how you are breaking down. Okay, as essential, desirable அப்படி சொல்லிட்டு you are classifying the requirements. Okay, in that case you are going to ensure that at least the essential requirements are at least met in your delivery of your projects. For example, for test cases. Okay, say for example இங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா the system should have a login ன்றது ஒரு requirement na. Okay, so you are running a test plan, successful user verification. Okay, the login is able to be successful to that particular application அப்படின்றதை you are verifying it. இந்த மாதிரி 4 யூஸ் கேஸ்க்கும் 4 test plan. Okay, how you are going to specify the requirement and how you are going to test, carry out the test. So இது வந்து உங்களுக்கு அந்த ஜிரால போடுறதுக்கு முன்னாடி உங்களுக்குள்ளார டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா this chart also can be downloaded. Okay, so this was from one of the popular university, Carnegie University. I downloaded this project summary. Okay, ஜிரால போடுறதை தான் இவங்களும் ஃபாலோ பண்ணிருக்காங்க. பார்த்தீங்கன்னா project plan summary, student, date of the program, the programming language which is used or what platform you are going to use it for your implementation, and then followed by that your timeline, various timelines for planning, design. First நம்ம lesson plan போடுறோம்ல அதே மாதிரி. Okay, so subject lesson plan போடுற மாதிரி actual போடுறோம், அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து what is the completion அதே மாதிரி actuals போட்டுட்டு to date in what percentage we are able to complete it. Okay, அது எல்லாமே you can draft it like this. Okay, so timeline for implementation நீங்களே வந்து ஏதாவது டிஃபெக்ட்ஸ் இன்ஜெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு அதாவது ரிஸ்க் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் எவாலுவேட் பண்ணிட்டு இந்த கேஸ்லலாம் இது ஃபெயில் ஆச்சு ஆனால் நான் அதை மிட்டிகேட் பண்ணிட்டேன் அதை அட்ஜஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இப்போ இருந்தது வந்து இந்த டெஸ்ட் கேசஸ்லாம் வந்து சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லாக அப்படின்ற மாதிரி they have prepared this chart. This chart is similar to whatever the Jira tool will do. ஏன்னா Jira tool more precise இருக்கு ஏன்னா calendar integrated இருக்கு. So இதுலயாவது நம்ம manipulate பண்ணலாம். Okay, so in that manipulation also is not possible. இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு டெம்ப்ளேட்ல நீங்க சப்மிட் பண்ண சொல்லலாம் Jira tool-ஓட ப்ரூஃப் வச்சு. So total development and after development all the timeline charts can be submitted accordingly. Major process. I can share this to your coordinator so you can get this as well. So the project problem description, the project plan summary form, timeline and defect recording logs, defect types and how you have planned, how you have developed and how you are able to complete. So there is the entry criteria and exit criteria as well. So the thorough tested program, completed project plan summary form with estimated and actual data, completed time and recording logs. Dellame வந்து any problem statement fit in up. Okay, so you can take this as a template to start your industry oriented project. So this can be seen like that how foreign universities are already working on. What step we can move ahead to see that our students also will be able to at least try. Okay, success rate approach. ஒரு பேட்ச்ல நீங்க ஒரு 5 பிரிச்சு நீங்க கொடுத்து ஒரு 20 ப்ராஜெக்ட் கொடுத்தா கூட 5 ப்ராஜெக்ட் இந்த சக்சஸ் ரேட் காமிச்சாலே நமக்கு பெரிய சக்சஸ். ஓகே, 25 பேரை நம்ம ஒரு கிளாஸ்ல we have made to adapt this kind of practice அப்படின்றது it's a very big success. So we have another 1 hour of time, so I am planning to give you an activity. நீங்க interdisciplinary எடுத்துக்கிறீங்களா இல்ல சேம் டொமைன் எடுத்துக்கிறீங்களான்றது உங்க சொல்லிட்டீங்கன்னா we do as per that. அப்ப நம்ம யார் விஷயம்னா டூலுக்கு போயிடும் அவ்வளவுதான். Okay, so I will give the name list, we'll segregate, we'll do whatever this thing. இப்போ வந்து என்ன பண்ணணும்னு நான் சொல்லிடுறேன். இப்போ நம்ம டிஃப்ரெண்ட் யூஸ் கேசஸ் பார்த்தோம். இண்டஸ்ட்ரி யூஸ் கேசஸ்ல evaluation டைப் பண்ணலாம், demonstration பண்ணலாம், justification பண்ணலாம், இல்ல ethical practices எந்த டொமைன் வேணா எடுத்துக்கோங்க. அதுல நீங்க ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் ஸ்டேட்மென்ட் எடுத்துட்டு மேபி குயிக்கா எல்லாமே இப்போ ஜீரா அக்கவுண்ட் கிரியேட் பண்ணிட்டீங்க. ஓகே, so you can work on the Jira itself, see that how the charts are generated, how you are able to collaborate. So அந்த மாதிரி you will work. Requirements வந்து உங்களுக்கு நான் ப்ராஜெக்ட்டே கிடையாது. இன்டர்டிசிப்ளினரி ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ் தான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து ப்ராஜெக்ட்டே கிடைக்கும். இன்டர்டிசிப்ளினரியா வர்க் பண்றது எப்பவுமே ஐ என்ஜாய். நிறைய இன்னோவேட்டிவ் தாட்ஸ் இருக்கு. So how many of you same department? I mean contribute same department. Choice is yours. There are 5 members of the team. So 30 minutes for doing this. Okay, so I have industry problem, context and background, stakeholders, data, decisions to be made, and assessment criteria. Indian paramedical companies in 2022 include some company names and data. The next is from this annual report, identify the decision management made, frame each use cases with the stakeholders conflicts. Your sample உங்களுக்கு நீங்க எப்படி வேணா ஐடியா பண்ணுங்க. Your own ideas, so you can use any AI tools. ஏன்னா உங்களுக்கு ரியலிஸ்டிக்காவே ஒரு ஐடியா இருக்கு, இல்ல இந்தியாவுல ஒரு கிளைண்ட் ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ண முடியுதான்னு பண்ணுங்க. கண்டிப்பா உங்க ப்ராடக்ட் கிளைண்ட் இருக்கணும்.
What infrastructure we need to improve the sewage disposal, and then the context and the background is the sector we are approaching through the municipal corporations, and then the budget is 50 crores, and then the challenge is how we are overloading the existing one or with the modern technology, and then the stakeholders are the municipal corporations. If it is a major city, it is a corporation, and then residential people, and then the agency. The agency may be pollution control. If you want, we can include other items also. And then the engineering team is the reliable implementation. How we can implement and related to that. And data provider, the people strength, and then how we are collecting or getting the waste. What we are having, and then what are the treatment, how we are reusing or treated that sewage water, and then how we are disposing the untreated water, and then we are going with the annual compilation. And the decision made is we can go with the upgrading the existing one, or we can implement some technical works, or we can go with the new sewage disposal plan. And then the assessment criteria is how cost effective and what are the impacts made in the environmental communication, and then the technical feasibility what we are using. And then we have created one group with a sample, the name of sample, and then we are assigned through the assignee, and we are assigned for remaining Anna, and then we have had some conversation also. How to use the answer.
You are assigned this work. What kind of work is this? Right, so you can give whatever you want here. So maybe I can, once you take it, you can move in them here.
So PDF is advanced.
This is in Jira too.
Yes, sir. You have assigned some question to some assignment. So
Yeah.
we want to know how once the task is completed, giving the answer to the question, and you doing evaluation, that process they ask.
They have given this task, once they complete, how you are going to evaluate this, right?
First one, and the second we have only done the attachment to PDF.
Okay.
Answer as PDF we have attached. We tried it. But how to evaluate that and how to track that?
I think it's not happening.
உங்களை எப்படி மாற்றிவிடுறாங்க டீமா இருக்கு.
Client madam.
This is only for the project execution scenario. Okay. So
Not
how your
evaluation.
project is carried out, you can do this. You cannot evaluate this.
Only discussion forum it is.
Yes.
What tracking we are
Okay.
doing.
How your project is carried out.
The tracking of project.
Stage by stage process.
Once we have connected,
will be having this type of problem. Usually when we are running the cloud, a large amount of energy has to be needed. It is needed. So the objective is reduce energy consumption in cloud data centers. Improve the resource utilization, minimize the operational cost, maintain quality of standards, support sustainable and green cloud computing. So this is the objective. So as we know the key functions, I am going to the context now. The context of smart energy is cloud computing environment with multiple users. We are all logging in with multiple users, applications and workflows. Data centers contain physical servers and virtual VMs. Dynamic workload demands requiring efficient resource management. So the background of the smart energy efficient cloud resource allocator is cloud computing provide flexible and scalable computing resources to the users through the data centers. So what is scalable is whenever we want to increase or decrease, we can automatically insert the systems or servers, and whenever we want to decrease, we can easily decrease. However, the increasing demand of cloud services is related to higher energy consumption. So when we are preparing the energy management or EV line, so we will be going for a particular wattage, and we will be distributing it through the cables. So when we are increasing it, automatically we have to increase the capacity of the load. That is, we have to say we have our own transformers, okay, which needs to be improvised. The operational cost, environmental impact, everything is coming into the picture. So, what are the stakeholders? Is cloud service provider, data center operations, system admins, application developers, cloud customer and end user, business management, operational owners, organizational owners. So, cloud server providers, like AWS and other data centers, Microsoft is. So they are major providers. So they will be judging it by running judging the requirement of cloud services. Then the data center operator is a particular data center. So wherever they are using it in location, a particular location. So the data service or data center operators they will be doing. And the system admin within the data center, how many system admins are there, and they have to have a knowledge of how many computers they are having, how many servers they are having, and app development like SaaS. So how much time they will be on the server or off the server. Then cloud customers and end users, business management or organizational owners. Okay, if AWS is having or Microsoft is having, they will not be operating on it on their own. They will be giving or outsourcing them. Okay, so the data provided is how much number of available computing resources that they are particularly using cloud services. Okay, and we know we need to have a server status, energy consumption matrices, server utilization data. So during the daytime, how much the server utilization is there, during the night time or during the peak hours. So all these things we can measure. And hardware health status. So when the server is purchased, when it has to be replaced, all these server, all these measures has to be there. And the resource allocation policies, workload priorities. Okay. So decision has to be made in the smart energy efficient cloud resource allocator. Optimal allocation of cloud resource. Server activation shutdown decisions. Okay. So whenever we are having very low usage, a particular server may be shut down so that the services may be used appropriately. load balancing across the servers, resource mitigation decisions, power management decisions, performance and QoS maintenance decision, cost optimization decision, resource utilization in the improvement decision. So this is the assessment criteria: energy efficiency, resource utilization efficiency, performance and quality of service.
எந்த என்வாயரன்மெண்ட்ல அவங்களால ரியலா ஒர்க் பண்ண முடியும். ஓகே, இது வந்து கொஞ்சம் ரொம்ப இப்போ இவங்களுக்கு வந்து எங்க வந்து அந்த என்வாயரன்மெண்ட் கிடைக்கும்?
டேட்டா சென்டர்ஸ்.
அப்போ நம்ம இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சர்ல ஏதாவது ஒரு லேப்ல அவங்களால அந்த செட்டப் பண்ண முடியுமா? அப்போ இந்த வர்ச்சுவலைசேஷன் ஆஃப் திஸ் என்டையர் லேப் பண்ண முடியும்னா அங்க இதை டெஸ்ட் பண்ண முடியும். அப்படின்னா ஸோ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஒரு ஜிபியூ தேவைப்படுது, நம்மகிட்ட ஜிபியூ இல்லை, ஆனால் இந்த ஃபுல்லாத்தையும் நம்ம அந்த கம்ப்யூட்டிங் பவர் எல்லாத்தையும் யூஸ் பண்ண ஒரு ஜிபியூவாக மாற்ற முடியுமா? அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஒர்க் கொடுத்தா டெஃபினட்டாக இதை பண்ணலாம். அந்த என்வாயரன்மெண்ட்டையும் நம்ம கொஞ்சம் அவங்களுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்ணணும். எல்லாருக்குமே வந்து கிளவுட் ப்ரொவைடரை ரீச் பண்ணுறதுக்கு சான்ஸ் கிடைக்காது. இப்போ அந்த மாதிரி கொஞ்சம் யோசிச்சிங்கன்னா இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் அது நம்ம டியூரேஷனையும் பார்த்துக்கணும். ஒரு செமஸ்டர் அதில் 2 சப்ஜெக்ட்டுக்காவது 3 சப்ஜெக்ட்டுக்காவது ப்ராஜெக்ட் பண்ணுற மாதிரி இருக்கும். அப்போ நம்ம வந்து ஸ்கேல் டவுன் பண்ணிட்டு இது எல்லாத்தையும் அச்சீவ் பண்ணுற மாதிரி இருந்தால் நல்லாயிருக்கும். I believe that as per syllabus, 1 or 2 syllabus will have a mini project attached to it. So அப்போ அவங்களால அந்த 2 ப்ராஜெக்டையும் பண்ண முடியுமா? அப்போ நம்ம இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் ஸ்கேல் டவுன் பண்ணி என்ன அச்சீவ் பண்ணுறாங்க அப்படின்றத இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணோம்னா லேர்னர் சென்ட்ரிக்காக அது நடக்கும். ஸோ இப்போ இது நம்ம இது ப்ராஜெக்டே ஜாஸ்தியாக கொடுக்கும்போது அவங்களால கண்டிப்பாக ஒரு செமஸ்டரில் கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ண முடியாது. இது என்னோட ஒப்பீனியன். ஓகே, ஸோ இஃப் யூ அக்ரி வித் யூ கேன் ட்ரை இட் அவுட். ஓகே, நம்மளோட அப்ஜெக்டிவ் வந்து லேர்னிங்கும் நடக்கணும், கம்ப்ளீஷனும் நடக்கணும். ஸோ அப்போ அது 2த்தையும் பண்ணணும்னா சின்னதாகவே ஆரம்பிக்கலாம். இது வந்து லாங் டேர்ம் ப்ராஜெக்ட்டுக்கு நம்ம வந்து ஹையர் லெவலில் நம்ம பண்ணணும்னா திஸ் இஸ் ரெக்வயர்ட் திங். எஃபிஷியன்ட் யூட்டிலைசேஷன் ஆஃப் ரிசோர்ஸஸ் வந்து ஒரு நல்ல ஐடியாஸ். ஏன்னா இது ஆனால் இது காலேஜ் லெவலில் இது எப்படி ஃபிட்டிங் பண்ணுறது நம்ம சாட்ஜிபிடி கேட்டாலே அது நமக்கு ஒரு இன்புட்ஸ் கொடுக்கும். அதை வச்சு காலேஜ் லெவலில் எப்படி இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ணலாம்னு யோசிக்கும். ஸோ நம்ம ஐடியாஸ் கொடுக்குறதே பசங்களுக்கு வந்து லிஸ்ட் அவுட் பண்ணி கொடுக்கலாம். ஏன்னா அவங்களும் வந்து செகண்ட் இயர் லெவலில் யோசிக்கிறதுக்கு எப்படி யோசிக்கணுன்றத we can help them. Okay, so see that you are very precise, you will be able to find the appropriate client, you will be able to complete that project. At most how many number of stakeholders you can have it in that project so that everybody will have a complete learning. அந்த மாதிரி பிளான் பண்ணா இன்னும் நல்லா இருக்கும். Any other interesting problem statements? At least we'll hear what is the application. அவங்க தான் ஏற்கனவே ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணிட்டாங்களே, நிறைய நாள் வாங்க. Waste food. Okay, waste food. So that is also a good initiative. So how to reach the community to have a proper disposal of that and recycling or in the biogas.
We are targeting minimizing the
waste in the hostel. Okay, minimizing it. And what is your idea? The pain point is
Tasty food.
What is the pain point?
Providing tasty food definitely.
ஆமா, actually வந்து நம்ம ஒரு அந்த டெவலப்மெண்ட் பாயிண்ட் பெயின் பாயிண்ட் சொல்லலாம். ஏன்னா வந்து how you are going to address that. How will you plan now? What is your idea? One day, as madam told, you have to cook very tasty. Limited food. And plan it down. And then to that only. Another plan is
how much of wastage is happening, how to control it,
What
and
are
the
the
behavior of the student.
compulsory கொண்டு வராங்க.
The waste will be maximum. So if we can track the inventory, we can judge how much of it is going for a waste, how much of it is actually being utilized. So purchase பண்ற இடத்துல இருந்து we can stop the
supply
wastage.
chain மாதிரி.
Supply chain.
I mean, like guaranteed life cycle na நீங்க guarantee தான் சொல்லுங்க. So அப்படினா
reduce பண்றது
see what behavioral changes also can be done so that this can be considered. So we have identified some decisions to be made on it. So try it out with one student in the next semester. Any other ideas, sir? Sir? Idea மட்டும் சொல்லுங்க. என்ன யோசிக்கிறீங்க?
As far as the electronics is concerned, electronics and communication is concerned, we have issues in radiation, high impact radiation. We have reduced. Actually, during 2010, on report that came like this, we have reduced the radiation.
The beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you, says B.B. King. Respected principal, esteemed resource persons, distinguished faculty members, and all the participants, a very good afternoon to one and all gathered here. I wholeheartedly welcome everyone to the valedictory function of the 5-day professional development program. I cordially invite our resource person, Dr. Swasilekha ma'am, to deliver the course report.
Good afternoon to all. I'm very happy to present the course report for the program titled AI Integrated Outcome-Based Education in Teaching, Learning and Assessment Practices, which was held between 15/6/2026 to 19/6/2026. The primary objective of this course was planned based on the requirements given by your Dean ma'am. To see that contemporary pedagogical strategies aligned with outcome-based education, where AI is contributing more on nowadays, was concentrated on that you handle your teaching, learning and assessment practices with the help of the technology was the main objective. The program commenced on Monday, 15/6/26 with a forenoon session on foundation of outcome-based education and AI enhanced teaching learning, where we introduced the core concepts of OBE and emerging AI supported teaching practices. In the afternoon session, which focused on designing higher order innovative assignment, emphasizing creativity, critical thinking and outcome alignment. On Tuesday, we had a session on pedagogical practices for active learning, highlighting the learner-centric teaching strategies for your enhanced engagement in the classroom. The afternoon session concentrated on rubrics, development for assignments, projects, case studies and various presentations, which will enable the participants to design transparent and measurable evaluation criteria. On Wednesday, we had a session, morning session, we had about AI tools for teaching learning, where we demonstrated various practical AI tools that can support classroom instructions and assessment. In the afternoon session, we were addressing the SDG-enabled curriculum design, integrating sustainability perspectives into the curriculum planning. On Thursday, the forenoon session was focusing on the various assessment tools and formative, summative, and how you can also refine your question paper development with the Bloom's taxonomy verbs. And afternoon, you had a session on COPO attainment, documentation and accreditation readiness. Today morning, we had a session on developing industry-oriented case studies and real-life scenarios, which will help you to bridge the classroom learning with the real-world applications. Now, before the valedictory, you all had an recall session and assessment. So from there, you have to continue with your action plans. Please try to formulate an action plan which can be the outcome of this 5-day session, how you are going to take it to all your fellow colleagues and the improvement practices which you are going to adapt in your classrooms. Overall, this 5-day program, I believe that it provided a comprehensive exposure to integrate AI with OBE, in all aspects of how you can do your pedagogical planning, assessment design, curriculum alignment and accreditation preparedness. I take this opportunity to sincerely thank our Director Madam, Dr. Usha Edison, for giving me the opportunity to host this program at your venue. Also, with great heart, I express my sincere gratitude to the management of Veltech Hightech Dr. Raj and Dr. Saguntla Engineering College for their support, the very humble hospitality and all cooperation. And Vinod sir was very much should be tired. He was taking the responsibility of bringing us to this venue from our place. So I also extend my thank you to Vinod sir. And I believe that your management is focusing on how your commitment towards academic excellence and faculty development are greatly contributing to the success of their institution. So you also have to adapt. So thank you, sir. Thank you. And on behalf of this course, I also essentially place a record to special thanks to my fellow resource persons from Dr. M. Srinivasan sir, Dr. Divya Jacqueline, Bakmarikama for the valuable expertise and insights to share their knowledge to you. And of course, we have various divisions in our institute. So one is training division, another is your software division. So I extend the thanks to the entire team. Finally, I express my sincere appreciation to all the participants here. Everybody were 100% participating. So without them, this program is actually not meaningful. So it's successful because of the 100% involvement shown by each one of you in learning the tools, learning the concepts. Even though all our teachers, all are practicing that. So you are very much keen enough to enhance yourself. That's what I would say. So everybody want to enhance yourself, and I'm thanking you for all that. And it's not that we only keep the session engaging. So it is on the other side. So you are engaging us, so that is a motivation for us to keep the class from the beginning to the end in the same pace. So thank you once again. And just in two minutes, I want to also brief about what is happening at NIITIIT Chennai currently. NIITIIT Chennai is currently the deemed university under distinct category. We are offering PG courses and PhD courses for working professionals specifically. So, for those who are working in industry or working in academic institutions are undertaking the PG courses at NIITIIT Chennai. It is actually a regular course, but it will be classes will be handled in the Saturdays and Sundays. So that is the main benefit. Actually, we call it as fractal mode. It will be happening in trimester pattern. No, it's not a semester pattern, a trimester pattern. So yeah, all your credits you can earn it through SWAYAM and NPTEL also. We have the flexibility. So you in the curriculum we have a flexible learning where few courses you can have to do it physically, few courses you can do it in the online mode. And we also offer PhD across all the disciplines, like from computer science, ECE, we have civil, we have mechanical, we have MBA in business analytics, strength. So if you are interested, the current opening is there. So whoever you feel like benefited from your family or friends, you can share the same so that they will be making best use of this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Feedback is the key to improvement. Feedback is the free education to excellence. It's time to share our experience and feedback. Dear participants, the platform is open for feedback. Please come forward and share your feedback and experience.
I think like this type of program for the faculty members. Ma'am, all sessions are very good, ma'am. Especially your sessions are very good because your activity is today only we are missing your activity. Previous we didn't miss activity. Easily we are learning what are all the things you are giving we learn. plus your activity also. Thank you.
Respected Principal Sir, respected Dean Academics Sir, respected Dean Iqac, and respected resource persons. Then beloved, my dear beloved faculty members, good afternoon to one and all present here. What my thought is like that, previously, now presently we are handling the classroom with chalk and board, right? After attending this session, what we thought like that, we are transforming into some digital AI-based teaching. That's why what I understood by this wonderful program. Because I impressed by the resource persons from the NITTR, because I impressed a lot from the way of teaching, that that is attracted by everyone. That one thing. When one more thing, what is that? Every day we are learning about ChatGPT. That's only what we thought like that. That is only a tool which are used for getting information or documents from the internet source. But after attending these courses, we are aware of lot of AI courses, AI tools for developing our skills, as well as we are projecting in front of the students' communities. That is very important. What I impressed like that. Okay, sometimes that students are they are leaving sometimes without the aware of the faculty members. What I like that, what the madam has given a lot of AI tools, right? When we are operating in front of the students, definitely they will not leave from the college, because they are automatically they are staying after college hours also. I would like to thank you, resource persons. That is very useful for us. What interest, what the madam that teaching skills, how we are taking the classes in front of the students. That everything we have to learn from the classes. This is very wonderful and very effective tool for us. I would like to thank to the college management, especially Principal Sir, Dean Sir, and Dean Iqac Madam is engaging with that wonderful program like that. I like to everyone and thank you once. Thanks.
Present here. Actually, this PTP program, it is very excellent one. I feel like this because there are a lot of FTP programs I attended, but this is fully informative, at the same time fully engaged. All the session we fully covered, fully engaged all the persons. This is very interesting one. Actually, I don't know about SDG. The terms also I don't know about it. How it can be mapping to SDG, and also COPO mapping also I don't know very exactly. At the same time, very clearly. I know about all the things. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, thanks to management and Principal Sir and Dean Sir. It's a really good session actually. The past 5 days, actually the student engagement is a really big challenge in front of a teaching faculty. As faculty, we have a great challenge. In reality, the past 5 days, we didn't touch a phone. Even though we used the tools, we didn't touch the phone unnecessarily. So these same kind of tools, if we get into the students' community, right now they are fully addicted to the mobile phones, gaming and other things. So after teaching learning this kind of practices tools, we make very happy, and moreover, okay, this kind of engagements we can give it to students' community. They are also getting to the same students, right? So that's really useful. So thank you so much.
When we are going for accreditation, MBA, NAC or whatever it may be, we need documentation. So this AI tools, what Madam taught, it's already, we got all the information with us, and it makes us to produce the documentation without any effort. Without any much effort, we can easily document it. Thank you very much, Madam. We learned much. And second thing I want to tell you is, the time is very much compressed. I feel it very much compressed. We need more practice session. Because when we practice only, we can come to know. Though we are all in teaching field and we are also in computer science field, many tools that Madam told, we were unaware. Once we got to use it, then only we can use it properly into the students, and you can get the feedback from all the other departments also. So I thank the program.
One is that year afterwards will bring the experts from NIT frequently.
Definitely, yes.
So that continuously we can improve, we can learn more.
There will be a permanent trainer, so because we are going to sign MOU with them, followed by this event. So we
We
have
also
to-
add to this. This is our generic courses we offer, OB, teaching learning process, A2s. Any core subjects you require training also we are providing. Already we are providing online mode of all the core subjects. You can follow up on our website as well. Whichever domain you are, mechanical, ECE, electrical, all subjects we are offering in the net. And we also offer offline courses also. You can, if you are interested, we will organize it at your place same day or in the NHPLTR, so you can come and benefit of it. We have excellent tools, very expensive hardware tools are available in various departments, like if you want to learn robotics, electrical vehicles, additive manufacturing. All those tools are very expensive devices are available. If you want to do some research or something, that you can come and coordinate with the corresponding faculty members. Because ma'am also is going to initiate MOU, so you have a privilege to send your students as interns, and you can also come for industrial visit to see what are the facilities we are available. You are welcome.
Definitely we need your thorough.
we
Yeah, we also have a humanoid in our campus.
that's why I don't know.
During the afternoon session, that is post-lunch session, everybody feel like sleepy. Every faculty will be sleepy. Only trainers are busy and usually. But these 5 days, just like that, it goes. We never thought of it.
Yes.
I thank you very much, madam.
Sir, two reasons are there. One, the participation. Everyone, I felt very non-sleepy all 5 days program. Usually I get sleep. Usually, of my age factor, all those things are there. But this one, I was hearing about NIT projects because I've been serving this long time. 3 decades I have completed. What NIT fellows they will. In our
transformed very lot.
Yes, yes sir. Once I just heard when I was there in Madurai working, our training is the best training we got. No. What perceptions, what we have in NBA so far, new dimension has been added. Well, you might have been attending very much because I am from the rural side. This is one of the most important children. Even zero below, many of you might not have been fully satisfied because of the packed timing, all those things. But Madam said she will be rearranging once again. Make it a practice, they signed MOU, all those things. So thank you very much, the people concerned, our management, principal, all people concerned. And with your cooperation, with our cooperation, we made it a success program, I hope. Thank you very much. It really happened, what is the direction has been changed.
Can I add one more to that, ma'am? So I came here to thank and to put a request. So thank you for being together and keeping engaged for all the 5 days participants, resource person everyone. So they say that well begin is often. Right? So day one we started on time. So everything was on say on par professionalism, right from MC to everything, right? So we forgot ma'am for thanking every session, right, and introducing the guest, right? So right from MC to the post conduct to everything. The way I see the participants, I've been here for 2 years. The very first time I saw active participants for 5 days. The coordinators were not rushing. We will call them. The resource person would have come. Only there will be 2 participants, 3 participants. Right, for all the other FTPs we were struggling. Right, so the very first time everything went very well. Right, maybe lucky ma'am, you are lucky enough to host this PDP without much struggle. The thing is, the participants were taking more photos than photographer.
Whenever the comes slide right, I could see 10 phones, right? They are taking photos more than our photographer. That shows their involvement. The request is that kindly go and educate to our fellow department faculties so that HODs won't get questioned, right? So why don't you educate your faculties, right? And again request your faculties to attend the upcoming FTPs in first and second week of July so that we won't have much problem, myself and the coordinators, right? So thank you very much. We are looking forward to such kind of events for educating ourselves and moving forward.
Participants for sharing your heartfelt acknowledgement and feedback. A great leader inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more and become more. With this note, I cordially invite our Dean Academics Sir, Professor Dr. V.R. Ravi Sir to address the gathering.
So good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
After seeing the lot of feedback, I understood that as a Dean Academic, my job is going to be simplified. Because everybody knows very well about the COPO mapping and SDGs, so many things now you have learned. I think we will refine our third semester courses once again after learning this. We will refine and then we will go for the AC meeting. And one small request is everywhere I am seeing that they learn, after that slowly they will be disconnected from that. But that should not happen. And many senior professors are here. Even other faculty also, they have at least 5 to 10 years experience. You please go through our curriculum, see that what best we can able to do it. And definitely we have to improve the COPO mapping. And now only we are learning this SDJ, WKS. Definitely somehow we put something in the syllabus and we are presented in the POS meeting. We have to refine it. You please all help me to refine and then if possible you can also educate your colleagues. 5 days learning is not simple one. And all experts they are highly knowledgeable. From the feedback I understood that they shared a lot of information practically and you all enjoyed it. From normal regular duty, we are coming out and we are doing a different environment. You really enjoyed 5 days is enjoyment for you. Learning is an enjoyment. So actually I miss the opportunity. I feel like that. But anyway, you are all here through you also. I can learn because learning is never endless. So it's, even I am 61 years old, but still I am interested to learn so many things. And I am working with all educated and highly knowledgeable team. Definitely, I feel very happy to carry out my duties. That's also very important. And especially, I thank Iqac Dean Madam for arranging this wonderful PDP. Madam, one more thing is, of course, I should say thanks to principal because for all our activities, sir is giving a lot of support and encouragement there. So I have to thank the principal also, and especially the NIPTR experts. We have to really appreciate them very well. Give a big round of So I know only one expert from NITTR for a long time. Now I have a contact with 4 more people. Really, Sashika Madam, Singh Jacqueline Madam, even already Madam was a BOS member of the civil department. So I know Madam also. So because of the NITTR experts, you have gained a lot of knowledge. I am so happy, Madam. Thank you, Madam. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great is the art of beginning. Greatest is the art of ending. To do the greatest art of ending, I cordially invite Dean IQAC, Professor Dr. Geeta Ma'am, to propose the vote of thanks.
So, I
I'm so happy today. I feel as if 5 years of my age got reduced today. After a long time, I have attended full satisfaction because earlier I was into administrative role for 10 years. So for the past 10 years, I used to inaugurate the events. That's it, my I never find time to attend all these things. So this time I have attended except one session, all the sessions I have attended. I'm so happy and really, ma'am, thank you for the wonderful. Initially, let me say something about this event. Initially, I know Madam, I am in touch with Madam for the past 5 to 6 years, I hope so. I have invited in the previous institution also Madam as the resource person. She is also acting as the Doctor Committee member of my research scholars. So this is our relationship. So when I started, because I have taken the charge of IQAC, as sir requested, this session will not end here. So we have proposed a new committee called Outcome-Based Education Committee in the college. So here I hope in every department one OB coordinator will be there. So among you. So as everybody has told, this is not the end of the session. We have planned to sign MOU with NHLPTR. And every semester with the approval from the higher officials, we will try to propose for MDP. So apart from that, whatever they have taught in every semester, so through the OB coordinators, let us take this to all the, because practically all faculty cannot attend this. Only 40 is the restriction for this. So we will make that all the sessions are reaching all of our faculty, around 250 faculty in our institution through the OB coordinator. So accordingly, 2 Saturdays we have planned from 9 to 10, every Saturday, working Saturdays, we will have the OB talk. So the coordinators will frame a syllabus, that syllabus let us all educate to the department faculty members. So this is one more point, since I have taken the IKC role, I have got also some inputs from Madam to completely digitize the campus. So starting from your course collection, syllabus collection, so from your elective collection till the assessment, till even I plan for all activities to be automated as a part of the IKAC. So this is what our plan is. So with this note, I would like to propose the vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank our management immediately for sanctioning this approval, this MDP approval. Next, I extend my heartfelt thanks to our principal sir, because when I have given the proposal, myself, Dean Academic sir, along with principal sir, have attended meeting with NHLPTR, Dr. Sasireka madam and Dr. Srinivasan sir. Then we discussed with the curriculum, this particular schedule, and then finally everything within a short span of time got approved, for which I should especially thank our principal sir, Dr. Kamala sir, if he is not here. I like to also extend my sincere thanks to our Dean Academic sir. So because he's doing a lot of tremendous, wonderful job with the curriculum I used to see. And one more thing, sir has added, as per the request from IKAC, SDG mapping to the curriculum. But now we got some clear idea like how to map the SDGs to the curriculum. Earlier, blindly we have mapped it. As per Srinivasan sir's sessions, we will try to incorporate, redefine the mapping of SDGs into the curriculum. So the key takeaways, what we have taken from my perspective, what new information I got is that really the CO should have all the 3 components like cognitive, psychomotor and affective domains. That is really very clear for me, because even though I have attended 2 already OB sessions in NPTL, only Srinivasan, since after attending it I got clarity like how to frame the COs, clear explanation and also SDG mapping. So after attending Madam's class, as champions are told, from traditional teaching to digital teaching, we all will move on to. So this is another key takeaway what we have taken after the session. One more thing is that so a lot of AI tools, even for project management, which is very new. So what we have planned is that whatever tools are all restricted tools. So already one LMS is getting initiated. So whatever features available in those tools, we will integrate into our LMS. So that unlimited usage we can make it. This is the digital documentation planning. So next I would like to thank all the deans, and followed by the session resource persons, I would like to thank Mr. Srinivasan sir, Professor Associate Dean and Training, Department of Education, NHLPTR Chennai. I also thank Dr. Padmarika madam, Professor NHLPTR Civil Department. I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Jacqueline Divya Mary, Assistant Professor, Department of Rural and Entrepreneurship Development, NHLPTR Chennai. So special thanks to Dr. Sasileka Madam for taking all the overall coordinate of this PDP. So special thanks to Madam. So I also extend my heartfelt thanks to all the committee members whose involvement in making this session a grand success. To add to this, I would like to heartfelt thanks to the hospitality team under Dr. Transport by Mr. Vinod sir, and especially compared by Dr. Brito Madam. Special thanks to the photographer sir. He's handling all the sessions because in future we will refer these videos for any clarifications. So also extend heartfelt thanks to the electricians and the networking coordinator, Manikant's system admin, everybody. I extend my heartfelt thanks. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. The future belongs to those who learn, adapt and innovate. With this inspiring thought, we have come to the end of 5-day professional development program on AI integrated outcome-based teaching, learning and assessment practices. These 5 days have been a journey of learning, reflection, collaboration and innovation. As we leave today, let us remember that technology may transform education, but inspired educators can transform lives. Stay happy, stay healthy. Thank you all.